Let's quickly talk about how to check your Chase credit card application status. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Story Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I'm going to give you a step-by-step on how to check your Chase credit card application status. I'm also going to give you some reconsideration line tips. It's very important to understand that the first thing you need to do if you want to check your Chase credit card application status, you need to understand the reasons for delay. Here are the reasons why you don't get an immediate approval. Basically, you just applied online or at the branch or over the phone, and you are basically expecting an immediate approval, right? Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, you got to know the four main reasons why Chase might not approve your credit card application right away. Let's just talk about it's more the algorithm. In other words, everything is automatic these days, especially if you apply online. You are being judged by an algorithm. So there are four reasons. First, if you have applied for too many credit cards, what's going to happen is that the Chase system is going to deny you or is going to ask for a delay. In other words, they will be looking at your whole financial situation, your credit history, all that kind of stuff. And there is a rule that we have covered on another show. It's called the 524 rule. And this is basically a rule that limits the number of credit cards you can actually apply for within a period of 24 months. Okay. Chase is especially tough on this one because they want to limit the borrowers or applicants the number of credit cards in their wallet. Okay. This is number one. Number one, you have applied for too many credit cards. Number two, you have a lot of credit with Chase already. So Chase got to look at you and say, listen, our exposure vis-a-vis this person is too much. If we sort of aggregate all the credit we have with this person owes us about $100,000. This is a lot of money. And we don't want to be exposed to a single applicant that way. So if you already have a lot of credit with Chase, they're not going to approve you unless you have an MPR with them. You have a multi-product relationship with them. The third reason, you are applying for a small business credit card. So some small business application can be trickier than those for personal credit cards. You might need to provide some additional documents to Chase to confirm the details of your business. For example, your financial statements. Okay. And the fourth reason is you made a mistake on the application. So sometimes an application's pending status can be due to a simple typo or other unintentional errors. Let me talk to you now about the application status. Let's have a conversation about the Chase credit card application status. If the stars align, you will receive your application has been approved message right away. And this is what we want, right? A lot of people want that. They just they fill in the form, they just send everything online, and then a few seconds after, the algorithm will approve you. If you don't get that immediately, do not fret. There is still hope. You might get a letter in the mail confirming or denying your application. And normally the letter should arrive within 7 to 10 days. Although in some cases, it could take up to 30 days. It really depends on your application. It depends on I would say the backlog of applications that Chase is processing at that particular moment. It depends on where you live in the country. For instance, if you live in Hawaii versus you live in a metropolitan area like New York, the logistics are different. So the first option is you get a letter in the mail confirming or denying your application. The second scenario is you get a message stating that you'll have a decision within 2 weeks. And these messages can actually be in the form of, they can be electronic. So you get an email, or in some cases you call a direct number a phone number, and you get a message or you get in the mail. And so applicants of the following credit cards will get an email confirming their approval, which will include your credit limit. So we have the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, the United Explorer Card, the United Mileage Plus Club Card, the Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards Plus, the Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards Premier, the Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards Prestige, the British Airways Visa Signature. You have the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless Card, and the IHD Rewards Club Select Card. And the thing here is that you can also check your status by phone, okay? So to check your personal Chase credit card application status by phone, you want to call the application status line at 1-800-432-3117. Again, the application status line is 1-800-432-3117. For business applications, you want to call 1-800-453-9719. The number again is 1-800-453-9719. And you can also check your status online. If you are already a Chase customer, you can check your application status online. So once you log into your account, you want to click on the icon. There's an icon in the top left corner that looks like a column of lines, right? So what will happen is that a menu will pop up along the left side of your screen. So what you want to do is you want to scroll all the way down, and you will see a tab that says Application Status. And you click on that, and so you can check the current status of your Chase credit card application. Let's talk about application rules here. What are the Chase credit card application rules? Folks, we are still having a conversation about how to check your Chase credit card application status. And one thing I want to say right off the bat, that all banks, including Chase, have rules about how often you can apply for credit cards, right? It's not only a good measure of financial discipline, but also it shows creditworthiness. The bottom line is no bank wants to have too much exposure to one single individual or one single household, okay? So the rules are meant to limit the amount of credit that banks extend to an individual and discourage those who are trying to game the system. And Chase is no exception to these rules. And Chase has been known for having some of the strictest ones among card issuers. I've talked to you earlier about the 524 rule. I'm going to dig a little deeper here. But one thing you need to understand here is that the strictest rule come with the stricter rules actually cover the best travel rewards credit cards. Okay, so let's quickly have a conversation about the Chase 524 rule. So the 524 rule basically is not a published one, but it is a very much alive and well. And it says that to be approved for certain Chase credit cards, including some of the most popular, like the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, you cannot have open 5 or more personal credit cards across all banks. Very important, all banks in the last 24 months. There are a few exceptions though. So what exactly counts toward 524? New personal credit cards that you open at any bank, even if you later close this account, they still are counted toward the 524 rule. So you have retail credit cards, like cards from stores like Victoria's Secret, Best Buy, and Amazon. If you are added as an authorized user to someone else's credit card account, this will also count toward 524. And business cards from Capital One, Discover, and some other banks are also counted. What I want to say here is that there is some good news though. Most business credit cards do not count against you under the 524 rule. Okay, so here on the screen right now, Chase personal credit cards likely impacted by the 524 rule, and the Chase small business credit cards likely impacted by 524. So we have the Chase AARP card not impacted. We have the Amazon Rewards Visa card impacted. We have the Aer Lingus Visa Signature credit card. We have the British Airways Visa Signature card, the Disney Rewards Visa, the Disney Premier Visa card, the World of Hyatt credit card. We have the Chase Iberia Visa Signature card, the IHD Rewards Club Premier credit card, and we have the IHD Rewards Club Traveler credit card. We also have something called the 230 rule. So this is kind of similar to the 524 rule. According to the 230 rule, you cannot open more than 2 personal credit cards or 1 business credit card in a 30-day period. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about how to check your Chase credit card application status. And I want to talk to you quickly about reconsideration. So first, we have the Chase Reconsideration line. This is a phone number you can call in hopes of having an application denial overturned. Remember, the initial decision was probably made by an algorithm, a robot, right? Now you want to talk to a person, a live person, in the hopes of having this application rejection overturned. You can also call the reconsideration line while your application is pending to help speed up the approval process. It's best to call within 30 days of denial, or you may have to submit a brand new application. So the Chase reconsideration line for personal cards is 1-888-270-2127, 1-888-270-2127. And the Chase reconsideration line for business cards is 1-800-453-9719, 1-800-453-9719. It's important to understand that when you call either of those numbers, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. You have to talk about application errors or typos. In other words, if you believe that there have been any typos or errors you may have found in your application that could have contributed to your pending application status or denial, please mention that. And offer to move credit around. So one reason you might have gotten a denial is that the bank has already extended a large amount of credit to you. If you don't mind keeping the same overall amount of credit, offer to reduce the credit limits on your other cards to make room for the new one. This is a great strategy as well, right? Because Chase will still keep its exposure to you, but sort of move things around. You want to mention why you want the new card. It's always important to motivate your intent. So if the card you're trying to get approved for offers specific benefits that you want to utilize, be sure to mention that to the representative. Explain to him or her how you plan to use the new card, right? It is very important. Please do not mention, however, the sign-up bonus, because credit card companies do not want to extend more credit to someone who just wants a card for the bonus. So it's best not to mention that. And the fourth thing is, please be courteous, be friendly. Despite your level of frustration, keep a friendly attitude. The person on the other hand of the line is just doing their job. So being rude will not get you anywhere. Let me give you a few tips around the reconsideration line, okay? Around the application rather, because we already spoke about the reconsideration line tips. Now let's think about the application. So applying for a small business credit card or a personal credit card is not easy. But one thing we have seen in our research is that applying for a small business credit card can be a bit trickier than applying for a personal credit card. I've said that before because the evidence, the documentary evidence is maybe higher. Okay, while you don't have to have a registered business to apply for a card, you could have to show some proof of the legitimacy of your business. We can start with EIN, an employer identification number. We can also talk about business checking accounts or savings account. We can talk about a complete set of financial statements, balance sheet, P&L, statement of cash flows, and statement of owner's equity. All of those things have to will prove that you have a legit business. You may have to provide that documentation, including proof of the legal name or a physical address of your business. And it's important to have the right kind of information. And what we have seen also in our research is that if you have a business plan, that can also help. So anything around regulatory, for example, business permits and licenses, or financial, for example, financial statements or accounting processes. Make sure you take those things very seriously. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about the fact that you need to have a business checking account or business savings account, unless you have a sole proprietorship. Okay, either way, for a business credit card application, things are a little more complicated, but not impossible. Actually, they're easy if you are planning stuff in your hand. You want to plan stuff in advance. You want to have the right conversation. It's always better to know if your goal is to get a Chase business credit card or a personal credit card for that matter. Please apply at the branch. We have said this many times. It's important to speak to someone to have all the intel you need before applying for a credit card. I know banks want you to apply online because it's a lot easier for them. Obviously, if you're getting 1,000 or 10,000 applications every month, you don't want to hire a lot of people to handle that in the back office, right? You want everything to be automated. But for you as an applicant, you want to actually be ahead of the system, and you want to go to a branch, speak to someone, and apply right then and there. Okay? And so it really needs more strategy. So here are my final thoughts, folks. So today I was just telling you how to check your Chase credit card application status, and I gave you a few tips around the reconsideration line. It's important to understand that you can actually speed up the process. If you want to improve your chances of being approved all the time, there are a few things you need to do. First of all, make sure that your all data on the application form is accurate. In other words, there is no typo, there is no error. Number one. Number two, the kind of information you have in your credit score, in your credit report rather, should be accurate. It's always important to check your credit report once a year. We have free platforms such as annualcreditreport.com. We have Credit Karma. We have a Wallet Hub. We have a Nerd Wallet. All these platforms are free. They are actually giving you access to your credit report for free. So make sure that you go into your report, and if there is any derogatory item that is invalid, if you have anything that you can't really recognize in your report, you want to fix it. You want to dispute it with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion before moving forward. It's also important to understand that a Chase credit card application does not get approved right away. Based on our research, 60% of applications get decided right away, okay? And 30% get approved immediately. If you don't get an immediate approval, you will most likely get a decision within 7 to 10 days. However, it doesn't mean that you will be rejected. It just means that Chase doesn't have all the information it needs to approve you. At the end of the day, remember what I was telling you earlier. The decision has been made by a robot, by an algorithm. It's not a person. So if the system does not approve you, it's okay. One thing you need to do, and one thing you need to really remember when you call the line that I've been giving you, please be friendly, be courteous. Don't put your frustration on the person on the other, on the line. That person is just helping you. That person is doing their job. That person is trying to move your file to the right person for decision making. So please, very important, you want to tone it down. You want to be polite. You want to be friendly. And if it's meant to happen, it will happen. If not, you just have to wait 3 more months or 6 more months and reapply. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. In today's conversation, I was talking to you about how to check your Chase credit card application status, and I spoke to you about the reasons for delay, the application status itself, the application roles, the reconsideration line. I gave you some tips. Also, I gave you some tips around business credit card application, and I shared with you my final thoughts. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll see you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.